This question is starting us off with this function, f of x equals 1 over x, and using that function, it wants us to determine what the average value of f is on this given interval here, 2 to 5. Average value is an integral formula that we have to have memorized. You need to have it as a flashcard. Somehow you need to make sure you get these different integral formulas memorized before you hit that test. The average value formula says 1 over b minus a times the integral from a to b of f of x dx. That's going to equal our average value. So we just need to set up this integral formula and then perform that integral operation, and we're done. To start off with on these, I always start with the integral part here just because then it's easy for me to see what my a and my b are. So setting this up, this would be the integral from a lower limit of 2 to an upper limit of 5, and then of our f of x, which is 1 over x dx. And so from there, we can see that what we need to put up in front here is 1 over b, which is the upper bound, minus a, which is the lower bound. The fraction up front is pretty quick and easy to take care of. That's going to end up being 1/3, and we're just going to end up multiplying that by whatever the answer to our integral problem is over here. We need to find the antiderivative of 1 over x. The antiderivative of 1 over x is what I refer to as a special case situation. So there's certain antiderivatives that you just have to have memorized. If you have them memorized, great, it's not a problem. If you don't have them memorized, you're probably not just going to randomly come across it in the middle of the test. So this integral formula is the antiderivative of a number over x to just the first. That's the key on this. If it's any other power than 1 on that x, this is not the rule to use. Where this came from is this came from the natural log. So what this would be is whatever that number is on top times the natural log of x, and then when we're doing an indefinite integral like this, it would be plus c. So here we quickly can see that our antiderivative of 1 over x, the a on top is 1. We don't really need to write 1 times anything. So this would be the natural log of x, and then you would say evaluated from x equals 2 to x equals 5. From there, I do what I call top minus bottom. So this is your top minus bottom process for handling definite integrals. I take the top value, plug it into my formula, and subtract off the bottom value plugged into that formula. So this would be the natural log of 5 minus the natural log of the bottom value, which is 2. The thing to keep track of here is that all of that answer is still being multiplied by our 1/3 out front. Well, you stop right there and you kind of look around and you see that your answer isn't really sitting anywhere in front of you as it currently sits. And so that's where we got to go a step further. And here's where you need to remember your laws of logarithms. So we have different laws of logarithms, the 3 main ones, and one of them deals with what we have in front of us right now. That rule says if I have the natural log of something divided by something, I can rewrite that as the natural log of the top piece minus the natural log of the bottom piece. Well, what we're starting with on our example here is we're starting with the right-hand side of this rule, and we need to work it backwards into this single log. And so what you've got as a rewrite here would become the natural log of that first piece, 5, divided by the second piece, 2, and then we still have our 1/3 being multiplied up front. And now that does match one of our answers. That's going to match option C here. So remember, as you go into this test, there's several things you just have to have memorized. You need to have the average value formula memorized, you need to have your special case antiderivatives memorized, and you need to have your laws of logarithms in your back pocket. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please click that like button and subscribe. And also share it with your friends and anyone else you know who might be crying about an upcoming AP Calc test. You can find more videos from me, more sample AP Calc questions, and my complete AP Calc study guide over at my website, apcalcprep.com. Have a great one.